Hello, everyone, and welcome to Faces of Central Missouri, the show where we take a look at the faces of the University of Central Missouri. I'm your host, Evan Holmes, and today we are talking with the head coach of the UCM women's bowling team, Ron Holmes. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's jump right into business. How long have you been the head coach of Central Missouri?
Since the varsity program began here, which would have been in 2001.
All right, and I also understand that throughout your time with Central Missouri, you've had a couple of Coach of the Year awards. How many?
A total of 9 over the years.
Really? And how many years has the Coach of the Year award been given out?
Since 2001.
Oh, that is amazing. But I want to ask, how did you first get interested in bowling in general, like the sport in general?
My family played as a youth. I started in high school and then came to UCM to play on the club team here and was fortunate enough to become an assistant coach and then elevated to the head coach position.
Well, when it comes to bowling, you know, a lot of people tend to play the sport whenever they get into it. What made you want to coach the sport rather than play it?
My background on the academic side is in physical education, and I have a teaching degree. So that was my original goal, was to teach, and I just happened to have the opportunity to be able to continue to teach it at the college level.
And you know, honestly, it must have been a good choice based on the accomplishments you've had in your career. But be honest with me, when you first started coaching, what were the expectations for yourself? Were they as big as what you've done now?
No. In fact, I think the goal back at that time was to try to find a way to help make the players better and then see where that took us. So we've been very fortunate to have some great athletes to work with and have some success here at the school.
And I also understand that some of those athletes are actually competing professionally?
That's correct. We've had several that have gone on to play at the professional ranks and then also a few that have been selected to play for the international teams.
All right. And you actually went on to win the national title back in 2003. Can you tell us how you went on to win that and what the process was?
Sure. Back at that time, the national championship was hosted in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we were one of the better teams in the country at that time of the year as well. Was able to piggyback off of a good performance the previous year as well, but we finished third the previous year, so the athletes were very motivated, and by the time we got to the national championship match, they really did a great job, even though one of our best players wasn't playing. She wasn't being very successful, so it was a very broad team effort.
And, you know, even though you haven't won national title since then, you've had 3 second-place finishes, 04, 05, 09. But what makes you really consistent is the national championship for the NCAA. It's been 15 years since they started that, and you've made 13 of those 15 events. What makes your team what makes your team at such a level of consistency that they seem to get there almost every year?
Well, I'd like to think that part of it ties in with the program and the level of success that we've had, but I know it also goes back to the hard work of the athletes and us being able to provide structure and show that a school like Central Missouri can compete with any institution across the country.
And last question real quick, before we finish for the day, anybody who wants to be a part of your program or is interested in bowling in general, what advice would you give them?
I think try to continue to work hard and try to get better with your game and be able to expand your skills to play at the college level.
All right, and I believe that's all the time we have for today. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time. That's all the time we have today for Faces of UCM. Join us next time for new faces on the Faces of UCM. Good day, everyone.